After a combined 20,000 hours of Counter-Strike playtime and a couple of years as a pro, I can now safely say that Counter-Strike 2 in its current state is broken. Counter-Strike 2 is far from the worst game release of all time, but as Counter-Strike fans we have come to expect a very high standard. I remember the switch to CSGO back when that was in beta and how horrible everything was. CS2 being on the same path is somewhat meant to happen, though I wish it didn't need to. For us to reach and surpass the level of our beautiful game CSGO, Valve needs quality feedback, which is the exact reason for the making of this video. The purest way to judge a game's performance is by judging it on performance. CS2 is currently a laggy mess, with players often dying behind walls, having short freeze lags, teleporting, or having their game straight up crash.
MP5.
My game crashed, okay, nice.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, I have to go spot
What
with
the
them.
fuck?
This is bad for competition, as crucial rounds are lost due to circumstances outside of the player's control. For CS2 to become a solid competitive esports, this is the #1 thing that needs to be worked on. One of the biggest issues in Counter-Strike right now is definitely cheating. I won't delve too deep into this topic, as I posted an extensive video on exactly this topic last week. What I can happily tell you though is that yesterday, Valve showed signs of cracking down on cheating in CS2 with the detection of a popular cheating software. This led to the banning of a Twitch streamer / cheater from my video and many other players who did not feature. There are other platforms such as Faceit and Esportal who have their own external anti-cheat that almost fully evens the playing field. But with Premier being CS2's own in-house matchmaking system, it is a goddamn shame that it is plagued with cheaters, which is why I choose to not play Premier competitively. Cheating scares away new players and pushes out some of the ones we've already got. Counter-Strike has long been famed for being one of, if not the most tactical shooter on the planet. Being good at using your utility is a critical skill that sets apart the top Faceit grinders from actual professionals. Sadly, on a lot of Counter-Strike 2 maps, the nades can fly in all sorts of directions should they hit one wrong pixel. This lowers the skill ceiling and adds unnecessary randomness to a game where it has absolutely no place. Fix your maps and make nading great again.
I fucking hate this game so much, bro!
In CSGO, there were probably around 5 places in total where shadows actually mattered.
Wait, one is bridge. I can see a shadow before.
To alleviate this, pros would learn where the shadows were formed and how it impacted gameplay. It was necessary to know this information to understand when and where you would be at a disadvantage.
Nice.
In CS2, shadows come into play on multiple maps in many different situations.
Hey, he's not. I saw a shadow, even though I didn't see him. He's left side, close.
Knife him, let's knife him.
Close left side.
Knife him,
Close
knife
left
him.
side. Bro, this is so broken.
Having light sources cast off shadows means they are added to the mix of many normal gameplay situations with an unfair disadvantage to whoever isn't Lucky Luke. A workaround for pros would be to learn every light source and know the effects of it. But realism does not always equal better gameplay, and the shadows in CS2 is a perfect example of this. Do we want frequent unfair disadvantages in every match played? My answer is clear, and the answer is a resounding no. Here is another topic that I have previously discussed. Tick rate was a commonly brought up topic in CSGO, where everything from Faceit matches to major finals were played on 128 tick, except the game's own matchmaking. Tick rate is the amount of times a Counter-Strike server updates per second, where a higher number means more updates, ensuring information is processed quicker. 64 tick was the norm for matchmaking, while everything else was 128 tick, much to the dismay of most elite Counter-Strike players. CS2 has explored a solution to this issue called sub-tick. I won't be explaining sub-tick in detail in this video, but essentially what it does is it updates the most vital information, like shooting, in between the ticks. We have yet to find conclusive evidence whether or not sub-tick on its own is fixing the tick rate issues of CSGO, but a lot points to sub-tick adding its own issues, such as shooting animations not matching up to when shots are fired anymore. I think we simply still need more time before we know for sure if sub-tick is enough on its own, or if the tick rate needs to be raised to where it used to be in CSGO's professional play. One thing I do know is that having a sort of final answer on this debate would allow CS2 to adapt to what it needs for the game to prosper. These are the 5 biggest issues that CS2 is facing right now in my opinion, and I'm hoping that Valve will work to make changes to all 5. Some are more important than others, some are more important for beginners, and some are more important for pros. What I think we can all agree on is that for CS2 to become the perfect FPS and a worthy successor to a legendary name, we must do what we can to nudge the game in the right direction.